Universities want to allow students to graduate. Juffa calls for MSG countries to support West Papua. And Southern Highlands to host 8th PNG Games in 2020.
This is the National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me with Saturday's news. The National Executive Council has approved the policy submission on reforming, transforming and unification of the higher education system in the country. The Higher and Technical Education Strategic Implementation Plan 2017 to 2038 will focus on helping many students enter tertiary institutions for quality education. The government, through the Higher Education Department, developed this strategic plan to introduce necessary changes at the tertiary level.
The national government recently approved the higher education reform policy for all post-secondary education, including public and private permitted institutions such as universities, technical colleges, technical training institutes, community colleges, nursing colleges, research laboratories, Center of Excellences, distance learning centers, and many more under the Higher Education Department. Departmental Head Father Yang Shuba says they consider technical and vocational training as an integral part of higher education which fosters development.
Currently we have a system, if a student goes to TAFE college and finishes certificate 4, can get a license. And if the student is bright and want to study at university, the current system does not allow the students to get credits for the work done and academic achievement and competency achieved. The students will have to start from Diploma 1. So it means you have to pay again the fees. It means you have to wait then again.
Currently, PNG's higher education sector has 9 different ministries, which has caused difficulties in the post-secondary education system.
Fragmentation of the post-secondary education contributed to a low academic level, contributes to poor quality of education, and it's very difficult to maintain quality when you have so many players involved in the system. So our government, under the leadership of Honorable Peter O'Neill, made a decision, to put all post-secondary education under the Ministry for Education, Research, Science and Technology. Yeah.
Father Yang says the unification of higher education system is to develop an education system to help students prosper in the fields of studies. He added quality education at all levels is important for the country's human resource to upstream economic development, prosperity and competitiveness.
So, and we are working on that for many years, over 2 years, to develop the system, because we didn't want to have a national qualification framework which is only understood by us. The PNG national qualification framework is benchmark against international standards. So anyone from New Zealand, Australia, or Europe, or United States, we see our qualification framework and they will understand and appreciate what we are doing.
Stacey Yallo, National EMTV News.
Higher Education Secretary Father Jan Zuba says the national government has committed to pay students components of the TESA scholarship. Father Jan says universities must understand that students must not be held responsible for the component which the government is to pay for their tuition fees. He made these remarks following confusion among final year students on their graduation status.
University students have raised concerns on the delay of their hackers and TESA's fee scholarship. The Higher Education Department has confirmed pocket and book allowances have been paid. However, there is a delay with ticket arrangements.
Government will pay, that's not a problem. The issue with tickets is incorrect. All institutions which submitted names on time, we processed the tickets.
Professor Father Yang clarified the situation would have been avoided if only universities have submitted acquittals on time.
Some institutions came in September, some in August this year. So how we can expect government to come with the money under short notice? Yeah? Universities should be the first institution which say, let us produce graduates, put them to the market, they can work, generate income for themselves, and develop the economy. And what they're doing, they want to shoot themselves in the leg. Yeah, so we don't give them degrees, so they cannot get employment, so our economy can slowly die. This is not university thinking. I'm disappointed about UPNG anyway. And UPNG is one of those institutions which come always late. They submit the names in August instead of January. So if they, instead of Papua New Guinea is going to primary student, then minister will interfere because University of Papua New Guinea did not submit the names on time.
He has assured final year students will and must graduate even if the national government does not make payments on time.
So if the students pay their fees as required and the government component didn't come, why the institution wants to punish the student? I think this is wrong. Okay, they have the power to say no, but we will challenge these institutions because government made commitment. Government made commitment and government will fulfill that commitment. So there's no question about it.
In the meantime, the TES's policy is under review to allow higher learning institutions to organize their own travel arrangements starting next year.
So what we are going to do now next year, all the biggest institutions will get the money ahead of time from us and they will purchase the tickets through private agent or New Guinea. It's up to them because they know exactly when the students are supposed to arrive, so not us, and when the students should depart the institution. So we will ask them to acquit. If they don't acquit, then again we will not give them money. So the challenge here is to provide acquittals on time.
Stacey Yallo, National EMTV News.
Deb Bromley of Links of Hope, a charity organisation, says it's challenging to run such groups in this tough economic time, but public support has been unwavering. She was speaking today at the 5th Annual Children's Christmas Fun Day, organised by the Soroptimist International Club of Port Moresby.
100 families from settlements in Moresby's South Electorate today attended the 5th Annual Children's Christmas Fun Day. It was held at the school oval at Ella Beach.
And we've been running this event now. This is the 5th year that we have partnered with Soroptimist International. We're very grateful for their support. The first year we had 35 children, I think, and we've grown gradually over the years. This year we have 200 children attending this party and many sponsors supporting the event. So we're very grateful. I have the support of my team who are on the ground in Port Moresby. We run a child sponsorship program to support many of these children. I'm grateful for my staff who are here to help out, and everybody here is supporting and helping us today.
Merry Christmas, everybody!
Organised by the Soroptimist International Club of Port Moresby, it was a day of fun in the sun for children who come from disadvantaged homes. President of the Soroptimist International Club of Port Moresby, Philomena Nawara, says the event was held to celebrate the House of Hope's literacy program, where most of these children and their parents attend.
We'd like to say thank you to all our sponsors especially. This day wouldn't be possible without the support of our donors and sponsors. So, like I said, next year we will be doing this again, and with the sponsors coming on board again, it's going to be possible. So thank you.
With the O'Neill government continuing its legacy of the free education policy through the allocation of over 300 million kina, these children attending the literacy schools outside the public school system may have a chance to attend schools in the public education system. Harriet Gimbari, National EMTV News.
And to the 7th PNG Games in Kimbe, Team Central walked home as champions after collecting 50 golds with a final medal tally of 107. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, in his keynote address, announced that Southern Highlands is the next host of the 8th PNG Games.
The 2 weeks national sporting event united all participating teams around the country.
I'm sure you saw the opening ceremony and you saw the CASA from the PNG Defence Force. That is a very plane that dropped
the three
It was an
disciplinary
unforgettable
forces,
experience
starting from
of
police,
the passing
CIS,
West Papua.
and also defense.
The Games and West Papua province has set a new benchmark in raising the standard of sports that I believe has also raised eyebrows and changed the perception of many leaders who normally turn a blind eye on sports. Sports in the past have been criticized by many leaders, are negative about investing money in sports because the playing fields become battlefields. The young people are often used to play to promote agendas of local sponsors, but without a pathway and a development plan for sports. Some good athletes drift into town to seek sporting opportunities to develop their talents.
And the highly talked about games facilities, an early Christmas gift for the people of West Britain.
Me plus tab good straight. On behalf of the council, lo lewa blomi me talk big plat thank you. God by bless him West New Britain, lo development blow you. Na you me looking mosem in a couple of weeks. But you play you looking Christmas. Na noga pla narpla province got good pla present. So you must thank him Governor blow you me. Sasindra Mutravel. Usati presenting province want them this la beautiful sporting precinct. Want la big la Christmas present straight. Lo people of West New Britain. Now we can talk to lo Papua New Guinea. Because I miss have a talk West New Britain. And we got all the Papua New Guinea stuff inside lo here.
And they made the games successful and colorful and made it truly a national event. And I sincerely thank all the contractors who have involved in fully completing these facilities, starting from Nibani, KNP, and all those smaller contractors who have helped us to deliver this facility.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, while officiating, declared the 7th PNG Games closed.
We saw him well also in Papua New Guinea can hosting some of the world events. Me Yamamastru, Logo Governor Blayumi, one-time provincial government, the people of West New Britain. He working over the past few years, making sure and building more the facilities. And we want high standard facilities inside the country, Blayumi. Thank you very much. Me sawe osem Despla games la future. You play setting one high standard to us. Where plan the Blayumi lo plan the provinces by Panim hard league club meeting. But I know that 2020 it is going to my own province and we will do our best to welcome you there as you have done to us here. Me like also taking this time to congratulating PNG Sports Foundation. One time plenty of sponsors. Plenty of sponsors involved in delivering this successful games. One time plenty of officials who said you go past organizing more games. You play walking, now you play walking West New Britain, proud, country blow me proud, all people blow me very proud.
Meanwhile, Southern Highlands is the host of the 2028 PNG Games. The flag was officially handed over to them by West New Britain Governor Sasindran Mutaval.
The traditional dancers slowly making their way out of the stadium.
Thank you, Governor. Job well done. Thank you, West New Britain.
Headed Samalili, holding the sports
games
game,
flag.
yeah, the games flag.
Thank you.
And now receiving the flag for Southern Highlands.
Foot athlete from Mount Bosabe to compete with a bare feet a local athlete in the Mount Wiru of Southern Islands, in the remote parts of our country. We need to build these facilities.
The lovely stadium here at Kimber, West New Britain, and it is flying straight to
the Southern Highlands province.
I'm sure that, like I said, the host team, the host province, they are excited. They're all happy. And I'm sure the public, the general public here, it's been a wonderful 2 weeks. Look at the crowd.
It has been, and I'm sure mixed feeling down there at the crowds, as well as the officials and athletes of the competition. As you can see, this chopper hovering around the stadium, and it will head up to the Southern Highlands region. And for West New Britain, a job well done. They have successfully staged the 7 PNG Games, and we look forward for the next PNG Games up in the Southern Highlands region. And yes, there will be the 8 PNG Games, but here in Kimbe, what a fantastic 2 weeks it has been for all the sporting provinces who have taken part in this event, and we surely look forward to a bigger and better PNG Games next time around. Safina, just the final.
Fabian Hakelitz, National MTV News.
Thank you.
National MTV News continues when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back. Residents in Lae this morning cleaned up the Eriku shopping centre and surrounding areas as part of efforts to keep the city clean. The cleanup was supported by the local MP John Rosso and several other companies. Lae residents showed up at the Eriku Oval as early as 6 o'clock this morning to participate in the voluntary cleanup exercise. The Eriku shopping centre was given a good clean. Rubbish was collected, the roads were swept and the drains cleaned.
Making this walk, place look nice.
This was an initiative of the Lae secondary school community with the support of the Lae MP John Rosso.
We initiated this one just to voluntarily clean up our town near Eriku on voluntary basis. That is in line with the Lae MP's view to keep Lae City clean.
This is the first voluntary cleanup to be held, with plans of making it a monthly exercise. Although it was only the first cleanup, the organizers were pleased with the turnout.
In our next cleanathon, I believe we will drive this message down to the community level, make awareness, so we need big turnout.
Islands Petroleum, FTM and Rybex Stevie Doring were amongst the companies who supported the program with cash, tools and resources.
What we're seeing today is just part of that initiative. People coming in, volunteering their time and helping to clean up our city.
The Lae district has also placed rubbish bins in and around the city. These are the efforts being put into making Lae a cleaner place. Lucy Kopana, National MTV News, Lae. Madang Governor Peter Yama says internal investigations into the provincial government accounts from 2013 to 2017 are still continuing. Peter Yama says the Madang provincial government sanctioned the investigation with the final report given to police, and another copy of the report will be presented to the Personal Management Department. Yama says the report has established clear abuse of public office, misappropriation and conspiracy to defraud, among other offences.
Madang Governor Peter Yama says the report has identified public servants who may have been implicated for one or more offences. Yama says the report has found millions of kina been misused, cashed out, money paid to ghost companies, and even contracts given to companies who have not done any work. He adds a lot of money has also been paid to hire cars and individuals.
So there's a lot of areas that's clear. Money that were used were for, not for the cost, not for the good of the people of Madang, for personal interest, for personal reason, for personal friends, and for people they know them who they dealt with, and they only time will tell that they will be called up to before the appropriate authority, like in this case, police will deal with them when the right time is relevant, right time.
Yama further states a 6.8 million kina was paid to Mangam Primary School for a double classroom worth at least 300,000 to 500,000 kina. adding the report shows that the 6.8 million kina was paid in advance. Yama says the project started 3 years ago.
Mangam School is 6.8 million. The building on the site down there is worth about 300,000. 350,000 or 400,000. Double classroom. But already 6.8 million is already paid in advance. So they've got all the money, but 300,000 somebody was classroom down there. But the rest of the money is gone to them already. This project didn't start yesterday, 3 years ago. So if they've done the job 3 years ago, 6.8 million worth of property should have built already. But there's no building of 6 million down there, and 300,000 building is not what they were paid for. So that's clear abuse of public office, official corruption, and it's clear mismanagement, misappropriation of public fund.
The Madang governor says the reason behind this investigation is for him to start working on a clean record. Yama says he cannot be blamed and be held accountable for offences committed by the previous regime.
What idea about me getting this investigation done is I do not want to be a governor, take over the job, and then I'm blamed for other people's wrongdoing. Because I got my reputation and my credibility need to be protected. I need to come with a clear page, clean up, start from day one. When I took over the office, this is what was the balance sheets, that was what money left over. This is what I have, this is what I'm going to do, and this is my dream for Madang, and this is my election promise that I told people of Madang what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm doing. So from day one to the end of my 5-year term, I know where I started, where I finished. And the money and everything I use has to be in even playing field.
Meanwhile, Yama says the decision to carry out the investigation was sanctioned by the Provincial Executive Council. Yama says given the very serious nature of the case involving very high-profile officers, thus he has met with the Police Commissioner Gary Baki.
So everything what we are doing is in the knowledge of the police. So don't think that we are doing isolation. Just like going down to somewhere from some con policeman or wrong policeman, we just got them somewhere to come and do investigations here. At the back door. No, we have no back door deals here. We go to one door and we come back.
Masa Luis, National EMTV News, Madang.
Madang Provincial Administrator Daniel Aloy was taken into the Madang Town Police Station for a record of interview late Thursday afternoon. The reason for the interview wasn't clear, but it is understood that this is part of the internal investigation into the Madang provincial accounts from 2013 to 2017. Mr. Aloy was taken in for an interview by the National Fraud and Anti-Corruption Port Moresby-based team.
At around 5 p.m. Thursday, Provincial Administrator Daniel Aloy drove into the Madang Town Police Station. Mr. Aloy was taken in by the National Fraud and Anti-Corruption team from Port Moresby for interviewing. However, the Provincial Police Commander intervened and stopped the interview. Superintendent Jacob Singura said there are proper processes to follow when it comes to interviewing a high-profile officer.
The reports have to be tabled through to the Commissioner's office, and his vetting committee will deliberate, and if there is substance, according to the Police Commissioner's vetting team, then the Commissioner writes to the person implicated for an interview. So that is where we're coming from, and from advice that I've received from my commander, ACP Guinness in Ley, and from Office of the Deputy Commissioner of Operations, that process was not followed. And that is the reason why I've intervened and relayed that message to fraud officers concerned.
Singura says if there is any directive, it has to come down from the Commissioner of Police to the Divisional Commander, Peter Guinness, who will inform him. Thus, the PPC will also be aware as this investigation would be conducted in his command.
This investigation is going to be conducted in my command. And as the commander on the ground, I would appreciate that information to reach me as well. so that there is no misunderstanding and there is no inconvenience to the process of investigation. We are not here saying no to the investigation. We have to follow the due process that is set by the Commissioner of Police.
Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Madang.
National EMTV News continues right after these short messages. Don't go away. Welcome back to the news. The West Papuan community in Port Moresby have joined hundreds of thousands around the world to raise the Morning Star flag. It was a day to commemorate their efforts towards autonomy from Indonesia. Northern Governor Gary Juffa was among the celebration.
It was a day of music and memories as 3 generations of families in the West Papua community in the National Capital District came together to remember the day. It was also celebrated by hundreds of thousands globally. Peter Hamadi was 8 years old when he and his family moved to Papua New Guinea.
When I came over here, my father was dead in the 60s. He was one of the members of in Dutch they call it Nihuni Rad. That's the Legislative Council of Papua. My father is one of these members where they came in the 60s to meet the late members here, formers from the House of Assembly, talking about the unity of the whole Papua from Sorong to Samurai.
With scores of the immigrants working in Papua New Guinea, the country has become home.
Me come in 1984. This time me plakam 16,000 refugees me plakam na staplo Blackwater. 16,000. Now 10,000 they still stop yet. Government you know sabe. All working report bongoli go combat. All you know sabe 10,000 they stop yet. Blackwater this time me stop lo wanimo. Okay, after me plus stop lo Blackwater, all sali me go going long Kiunga. Now some place stop long Kiunga, some place still stop lo border between Sundown Daru. Chairman long MSG leader and by comeback girl on Papua New Guinea. Prime Minister by kissing this flower post. Also, Prime Minister yet and been asking President long Indonesia and President long Indonesia and asking Prime Minister too long. Try him long, help him solving problem long. Indonesia one time, West Papua. Time all go meeting long Bali. Governor Paco we go Boca Contra too, Ben Maika too. All get I go. Also, me ask him, Government Blom, Papua New Guinea, Prime Minister and must make him something. Also, real. You know, enough long talk that's all.
Mr. Mambrasa was a member of the separatist groups who raised the West Papua Morning Star flag each year on December the 1st. They deemed this as the Papuan Independence Day. The act of raising the flag, according to Mambrasa, would carry 7 to 20 years of jail time in the Indonesian territory. Oro Governor Gary Juffa was also in attendance. He told EMTV News that Papua New Guinea must recognize the plight of the West Papua people.
I think Papua New Guinea should not forget about the people of West Papua. The people of West Papua are Papua New Guinean, are people just like Papua New Guineans. They're Melanesians, they're Pacific Islanders, and we continue to forget that they live in a very oppressive environment. And their desire to be free must never be forgotten, that we should at all times support that effort. And if we have to engage with Indonesia or the rest of the world to bring focus to the plight of the people of West Papua, who deserve to live free, who deserve to be able to determine their own future, we must all work together so that the Pacific can truly be called a free Pacific.
Harry Gimbari, National EMTV News.
A special species of tree kangaroo called the tenkile has brought an Australian zoologist couple into the Torricelli mountain range in a race against time to save the endangered species. But what seemed to be a daunting task ahead has transformed the lives of communities living in the Torricelli mountain range of West Papua province. This is captured in the inspiring film called Into the Jungle, which hoped to win the government's approval to have the Torricelli mountain range declared a legally protected area. The film had its private screening earlier this week in Port Moresby.
Into the Jungle was filmed in the Torricelli mountain range of Lumi, West Sepik province. Like other rainforests of Papua New Guinea, Torricelli is rich with unique biodiversity of flora and fauna, which in some places is on the verge of being endangered. The race to save this area comes as a zoologist couple from Australia, Jim and Jean Thomas, left the comforts of their homes to save a special species of tree kangaroo called the tenkile, only found in the Torricelli mountains.
To increase the number of tree kangaroos and other wildlife species by working with local communities in the forest and to work with them to protect their forests.
In what seemed to be a challenging task ahead, with language barriers and no proper roads, the Thomases were on a serious mission to save the tenkile. After continuous efforts, they successfully set up an NGO called Tenkile Conservation Alliance and have transformed the lives of more than 12,000 people.
Everywhere in Papua New Guinea is just as important as the Torricelli is. Sure, this is a unique animal found nowhere else, but there's lots of undescribed species and other special animals right through New Guinea in the incredible rainforest that is Papua New Guinea.
I think we have evolved as conservationists rather than, like I said in the movie, not focusing so much on science and facts, but just really embracing the personal growth and development of people to build their confidence, make them feel proud, so they can embrace moving forward into the future.
The film illustrates the local community's need of sustainability and management of their resources, and at the same time looking at alternative ways to improve living standards. It also shows how conservation and protection of an area needs equal support from the local community up to the government level.
Again, I want to assure Jim and Jean in that whatever I can do to ensure that we are able to get necessary government approval, I'm willing to, participate in that process.
The film was produced by Titan Films and funded by the Conservation and Environment Protection Authority and UNDP through the Global Environment Facility.
Service that the national government needs to provide to community must be seen as, it must go as a package to them as well, because we all depend on the environment for our daily living, but at the same time, the people out in the rural environment would also want some benefits that is probably experienced here in Port Moresby or elsewhere in the cities. And so the basic services of especially water, sanitation and health is something that we would want to promote when doing conservation. So
the private screening in Port Moresby was also attended by members of parliament who have assured the zoologists of their assistance to push for the area to be legally protected.
We are going to give you the support in cabinet. Since becoming a planning minister, I've been talking with the Minister for Environment and Conservation, and I've told him we're going to provide funding in the budget for next year to identify a lot more areas. We want to build at least another 4 more national parks, so our government is focused on preserving the environment.
Merlin Diaukatam, National EMTV News.
Turning overseas, in Britain, a royal union is capturing the imagination of a nation. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle made their first joint visit today, just days after their royal engagement. The debut wowed local crowds at England's Nottingham City.
People here are so excited to see Prince Harry and his new fiancée, Meghan Markle. They're literally lining the streets of Nottingham to catch a glimpse of the happy couple. The couple is here to raise awareness of an issue that was very close to the heart of the late Princess Diana, tackling the stigma of HIV/AIDS. It is very clear that Prince Harry and Meghan hope to use the tremendous amount of publicity that was generated by news of their engagement to shine the spotlight on causes and issues important to them.
My hand and Prince Harry with his tongue out at me, which I think is a pretty cool photo. And it meant, I was shocked. I didn't expect him to shake my hand.
What does it mean to you that an American is joining the royal family?
It's absolutely wonderful. I mean, we Americans absolutely adore the royal family the way it is. So, I mean, all over the news, it's always about the royal family anytime anything happens. And so it's absolutely amazing. And to be here while it's happening, like I'm going to be here for the royal wedding and here for like the royal baby, and it's kind of a dream come true.
This is Meghan Markle's first day on the job. She's giving up a successful acting career to focus on royal engagements such as this one. She says she's excited about this new chapter in her life, and as you can see, the crowds just love her.
Sports is next. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The 2018 Commonwealth Games Queen's Baton is in West New Britain Province. The baton was relayed today across Kimbe Town and then to the Motorville Stadium, just in time for the 7th PNG Games closing ceremony. West New Britain's homegrown and NRL star Marcus Bai and then was later passed on to Governor Sasindran Motorville.
Most of the runners that took part in the baton relay, the Queen's Baton Relay that was held this morning or this afternoon. And now we see Marcus Bai, the PNG Defence Force. That is a very plane that dropped a
paratrooper that went down with the flag in the opening ceremony.
And did a couple of dives. But now we watch the Governor for West New Britain, Honourable Sasindran Motorville. This very baton, it travelled from London with a message from the Queen. It will be announced at the opening of the Commonwealth Games, the 2018 Commonwealth Games that is going to be in Gold Coast, Australia. And there we have it.
The Prime Minister just lifted the baton to...
It was World AIDS Day.
Yes, and rightfully as the Minister for Health, he should be officiating this, and
one of the custodians is holding up there. It came through to our PNG Games, did its round on the tracks that all our lovely athletes from each province came to fight hard.
And Australia is raging hot favourites for the Rugby League World Cup final tonight when they take on England at Suncorp Stadium at 7 p.m. Trukai Sports continues after the break. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. 32 teams are now set for the 2018 FIFA World Cup, which is 6 months from now. Russia put on a colourful show for the draw with the presence of President Vladimir Putin. The play will begin with the host facing Saudi Arabia on June 14, 2018. Russia couldn't be handed over easy, alongside with Saudi Arabia, Egypt and Uruguay in Group A.
The World Cup might still be 6 months away, but it is starting to feel very, very real after Friday's tournament draw in Moscow. With the Russian President Vladimir Putin in attendance, the host nation couldn't have been handed an easier draw alongside Saudi Arabia, Egypt and Uruguay in Group A. Russia are the lowest ranked team in the competition, but this represents a good opportunity to make it to the knockout stages. There doesn't seem to be a so-called group of death, in part perhaps because many established teams didn't make it to the tournament, but there are nonetheless some very juicy fixtures. For example, an Iberian derby in Group B, the European champions Portugal against Spain, pitting Cristiano Ronaldo against many of his Real Madrid teammates. And in Group D, it's welcome to the party for Iceland. The plucky underdog team, playing in its very first World Cup, is going up against Lionel Messi and Argentina in their very first game. For a country of just 330,000 people, it doesn't get much bigger than that.
And that ends Trukai Sports. The weather details up next.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Region only in Port Moresby, showers although fine weather in Daru, few showers in Kerema, and fine weather also in Alutau and Popondetta.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And that's the news for Saturday, the 2nd of December 2017. Stay tuned for the grand final of the Rugby League World Cup between Australia and England. Earlier this evening in the women's grand final, Australia beat New Zealand 24 points to 16. Have a good evening. Good night.